Let's listen to rebel propaganda from the side of the rebels.
You use the word cruel. That's like a very specific word. And what are these things on his chest? Are they pens? What is this?
But now, let's listen to it from the perspective of a family man on an Imperial planet.
Today we're watching Andor, Season 2, Episode 12. Tell me what happened.
At the beginning, K2SO dominates the troopers and rescues Cassian, Clea, and that other dude.
Cassian comes in hot back to Yavin 4.
Because of all the failures, Partagas falls on his sword.
Cassian defends Luthen to the committee.
And Cassian swag walks back to his ship.
We see an almost complete Death Star.
And then we see Bix. She got done knocked up, maybe by Cassian.
Maybe. We'll see. What did you think about the episode?
I give this episode an 8 out of 10. For me, it's another great episode. I really like the ambiance of the episode and the feeling of everything leading to Rogue One and Episode 4 and the Death Star blowing up and all that. So it felt great. I really like it. Not much happens, though, but it felt great. To me, it's just droids are so powerful. My God, why don't they use as soldiers more? That's a little bit of a flaw. I really liked Cassian going to bat for Luthen, even though probably was for nothing because nobody was listening. But I do like that Cassian went to bat. And overall, it was a great setup for Rogue One and the rest of the story. So for me, 8 out of 10. What did you think?
I also gave this episode an 8 out of 10, and I agree with your assessment that not a lot happened. It was more about mood and setting up this transition to this segue to Rogue One. The good parts of this episode is that K2SO murder sequence. Oh my goodness, that was dope. K2, he doesn't give a fuck. He doesn't give a fuck about humans. Like the point when he used Hurts does like the human shield. Like, oh my goodness, I did not see that coming, and it was intense. Dedra in prison, that was poignant. That messed me up. She's a classic Shakespearean tragic hero, and so Dedra and Cyril, in my opinion, have the saddest storylines of the entire Andor series. It was cool though. It was cool though seeing the rebel internal politics on Yavin 4. A rise to power is often not straightforward as just everyone's happy on the same team. There's battles going on. The cons of this episode, it's unclear to me if droids are sentient in Star Wars. All the way through the Star Wars franchise, droids have names and people address them by their names. But here, the rebels, they call K2SO, they call them droid. Weird dehumanizing of a robot, of a droid. And then also cons at the very end of the episode was that prophet woman. She just really rubs me the wrong way. Doesn't feel right. But overall, good ending to a good series. I'm going to watch Rogue One right after this, see how it flows as a story. Ready to do it?
All right, let's get into it.
Let's do it. So the first thing here I see, this is Senator Organa. Senator Organa. Mm-hmm. And what are these things on his chest? Are they pens? What is this?
Yeah, what are they? Are they pens?
I think they're pens. So, okay, so note here that I don't know how much writing he has to do, and we see Mon Mothma. She has like her sleek, rich person clothing without pens sticking out on her chest. And then we look over at Organa. Here he is, stupid handsome. Good job, good for him. But he's got these pen things on his chest. It's weird. It's weird because it's like right here, prominent in his chest, and he could have tucked that away inside his cloak, which would then maintain his I'm a rich person, I wear sleek stuff look. But instead, he's got these like on the outside of his chest, ready for a quick draw. Honestly, it looked like when we look at the next picture, it reminded me of these things, where like you Velcro on the quick access patch onto your sleeve. Yeah.
Okay. So he needs like a speed draw of the pen.
Quick access. Somehow that he can't have it on like hanging on the inside of his cloak, which would have preserved his like sleek look. Where he's got a cloak on where his arms are like tucked away inside there. Like I can't imagine that a tactical person wants their arms are wrapped up inside this thing. It's a weird contrast.
Right. And they're like in the planning room, the leadership room. When do you need pens on quick draw there? I mean, have them in a convenient spot, but this seems excessive.
Yeah. This. I mean, honestly, it feels like pocket protector, but for rebels. It's like my pen protector spot.
Yeah, weird. And Mon Mothma, also a leader, similar level, doesn't need pens at quick draw. Maybe she's got a holster at belt level. She's like,
let me sign this document.
let me sign the document. I approve.
Yeah, so just weird style choice for him.
Weird style choice. It's a little imperial now, honestly, because the Imperials have the.
Yeah. They got like the pens here.
Yeah. Yeah. But he is a senator, so he still is. I guess he's gone. Is he not? He can't be a senator now. He's full rebellion.
I don't know. I don't know if he bounces back and forth because in
risky.
the Senate he said I'm going to use rule whatever to give time to Mon Mothma so she can talk. But does that necessarily mean that he's a rebel and he's disavowed from the Senate, or can he still bounce around between? I don't know.
Maybe it's just wouldn't it be really risky for him to be on Yavin and also head back to the Senate? Probably better if he just chooses one.
He could be traced back to Yavin, and the base is exposed.
Right.
Not good.
Yeah. It's on Coruscant. Man, K2SO is dominant. Just absolutely dominant. It's crazy. No chance.
No chance. It's crunched.
No chance.
Crunch. Now he's got a gun?
Ooh. Nope.
He's got droid accuracy?
I'm not telling you again!
This is messed up.
So cruel.
Cassian, I assume any doubts about my value have been erased.
You can speed up now.
You're welcome.
Hard right coming.
So these are
use the
trained
word-
troopers.
Yep.
Go ahead.
They're just getting wrecked. You use the word cruel. That's like a very specific word. Why cruel?
Yeah, this is cruel. Because K2SO has this armor that when he gets hit with a blaster, it's like ding. It doesn't get hurt.
Doesn't bother him. Doesn't bother him at all. Yeah.
So he uses this guy, I don't remember his name, as a human shield, but he doesn't need a human shield. So he's just flaunting a corpse in front of the troops, just for cruelty's sake, for no reason.
It's like psychological damage to the one or two remaining dudes.
Right.
Yeah, he
Before
doesn't
he
need a
kills
shield.
them.
What is he? Why is he doing this?
Just shoot him. And what's the problem?
Yeah, why are you dangling your former commander? It's just a mess. It's just psychological warfare.
Just psychological
Just messing
warfare.
with you.
Yeah. So it's just domination. I mean, look at this. Shot, dink. Shot, dink.
Ooh.
Shot, dink.
Not a problem.
Not
Not
a
even
problem.
a mark on his armor.
Right. So this is just an ineffective weapon against a droid.
Yep.
Why aren't droids being used? Send in droids, not soldiers. It's just
Send in
absolute
only droids.
domination. Yeah.
Yeah, right. Like a droid army.
Yeah. There you go. Dude, and we need to upgrade these blasters. This is unacceptable.
What are these, shooting children? Maybe they work against children,
Maybe.
but droids? Absolutely not. Clearly not.
Absolutely not. Yep. Clearly not. And then at the end, so K2SO comes in and rescues Cassian.
Yeah.
And Cassian is all cold to him. Like, what? Like, listen.
Assume any doubts about my value have been erased.
You can speed up now.
Like, doesn't even acknowledge, say a thank you.
No, thanks, bud. Good job.
Jeez.
You're welcome.
Hard right coming.
You're welcome.
I mean-
Hard right coming. Like, what? Show him a little gratitude.
If you want a droid rebellion, this is how you start it. You get the humans disrespecting the droids. That's how it starts.
That's how it starts. I don't understand why Cassian's like that. He doesn't like droids. He's got problems.
Weird. Along the same lines, are droids people in this universe? Because the rebels seem to not respect this guy.
You, droid. Me. Power down this ship, walk away, then power down yourself until further notice.
What is it?
The man you do not like is here.
Excuse us, droid.
So what's the problem?
The problem is, in Star Wars universe, we treat droids like they're people, like they're sentient beings. And so when they have names, you address them by their name. And so there's the Draven Colonel or whatever, the rebel base commander. He's like, droid, do this, blah, blah. It's like, But the guy's got a name, K2SO.
Right.
And then also even Senator Organa. He's also like, droid, leave us alone. But I've seen Organa talk to C3PO or R2D2. So when they talk to them, they use their names. For some reason, not with K2SO.
Yeah, it's really a bad blind spot for the rebellion because you have sentient beings that you're using dehumanization tactics against by not addressing them as individuals. Like, what the heck?
So I have a theory about this, and I think the rebels know that they did a war crime because if we treat droids like they're people, like they're sentient beings, they effectively killed K2SO and then scrambled his brain, put in a brain controlled chip, and then plugged his organs back together, and they're like, go fight for us now, go kill your former friends. Like that's got to be some type of war crime, right? Brainwashing the enemy to go get them to go kill their own friends, go behind enemy lines and betray people. Like that's messed up. And so in order to distance themselves from the war crime they did, they call him droid. They don't give him a name. Like in the same fashion that if you had a dog, German Shepherd, and his name's Oliver, and then it died, but you're like, I need it for the war effort. I need this dog operational. I'm going to do some type of voodoo magic, I don't know, robot augmentation, something. But he comes back and he's definitely not the same anymore. Like, I don't think I would call him Oliver. I'd call him like, War Dog. Do your thing, because I don't want to remind myself that I did something awful.
I see. So the rebels basically did war crimes against this droid. In order to mentally distance themselves from the war crime, they distance themselves from the droid.
Right. They're just, droid, do this. They don't see him as a sentient being anymore.
Right. Blind spot. Blind spot. So Luthen is hated by the rebels for some reason, which we talked about last episode. But I really like Cassian's defense.
We're talking about someone who's been a thorn in our side.
It's everything I know about Luthen that makes me believe this is real. Did you know him? Does anyone in this room have any idea how much you owe him?
Oh, please.
When I say I know Luthen, I mean I know the good and the bad. I know what was wrong with him. I had a front row seat on that. And I made my choice 2 years ago to join here and be part of this. But none of that can take away what he did and how hard it was. I don't know if what he was told is true or not. But it's insulting to hear him run down by people who have given a fraction of his sacrifice to this rebellion.
We're talking about...
Loved it.
Good
Thank
speech.
you, Cassian.
A good speech.
Because he's right. Luthen sacrificed everything, including his own life, when necessary, for the rebellion. He did all these terrible things so the rebellion could survive. And we speculate that maybe Luthen wanted for the rebellion to see him as a dumping ground for all the atrocities the rebellion had to do before they became powerful. And so Luthen would want the committee to be against him. But it does feel nice for Cassian to defend him with everything he's done.
Right.
Felt great.
The committee views Luthen as an evil person who's doing all these sinful deeds. But they don't see is that Luthen is absorbing the sinful deeds for their benefit so that they can live and feel like they're good people because they didn't do the bad things. And Cassian is the only person that stands up for him. That he's doing these bad things for you guys. You guys would not be here able to have this conversation if Luthen hasn't not done the bad things he did in order to get you here. Good.
That's right.
Good for Cassian for loyalty.
Right. But that's the Cassian and Luthen, the like old guard now. Rebellion is moving on toward the idealistic future and leaving these dirty, bad people behind who did all this terrible stuff to set up the pure rebellion. They are now ready for Luke Skywalker to show up on the scene.
Is that the new meta for doing a rebellion? You have this like shadowy Section 31 stuff that does the bad things, kills the people and gets their hands dirty. And then when they've done enough that you're ready to overthrow the previous government, you're ready to be in charge now, you discard those people away. So that way your group totally clean and truly clean. Like didn't do bad things because the people that did bad things, we got rid of them. Or it'll be the best thing is what Luthen does is we don't even know that they existed. He's just doing stuff behind the scenes. They did bad stuff.
Right. This is like a sophisticated rebrand in intelligence work. This is it's awesome.
Clever, but also
Yeah.
stepping on the people that did the hard work. But also, I guess if they're volunteering to do it, they understand the mission.
Right.
Okay. Yes.
And the mission for Luthen is to do a bunch of bad stuff to support the rebellion and then die in darkness. Brutal.
Noble.
Noble.
But no one will ever know about it.
Mm-hmm. And the rebel propaganda. Let's listen to rebel propaganda from the side of the rebels.
About someone who's
There will be times when the struggle seems impossible, dwarfed by the scale of the enemy. Freedom is a pure idea. It occurs spontaneously and without instruction. Random acts of insurrection are occurring constantly throughout the galaxy, and even the smallest act of insurrection pushes our lines forward. Remember that the frontier of the rebellion is everywhere. Tyranny requires constant effort. The Imperial need for control is so desperate because it is so unnatural. It breaks, it leaks. Authority is brittle. Oppression is the mask of fear. There will be
So from the rebellion perspective, we're starting to get a groundswell. Right?
Yeah.
There's people on different planets who are hearing about the rebellion, fighting against the tyranny, creating acts of rebellion, even if they're small, everywhere, overwhelming the ISB. And it's starting to take on a new form. And it's righteous. We got this purity of freedom of our cause. It's great. So this propaganda feeds right into me. Yes, we're on the rise. We're fighting the good fight. This is great.
And if you think that you want to do something that is some violence, that's noble. It's for the cause, and other people are with you. So it's not just you being upset at society. All these people around you who are unnamed and hiding, they're also with you. They're also upset at society. So do it. Do your act of righteousness.
Yep. But now, let's listen to it from the perspective of a family man on an Imperial planet.
Oh, you
What
mean the
does
same
he
message?
hear?
We're going to listen to the same message, but from someone who's doing well in the Empire.
Right. So they have a family, they have a job, and society is functioning well, like that society we saw with Luthen in the last episode. Everything's going well. Yeah, there's some problems, but what society doesn't have problems? Let's listen to it from that perspective.
There will be times when the struggle seems impossible, dwarfed by the scale of the enemy. Freedom is a pure idea. It occurs spontaneously and without instruction. Random acts of insurrection are occurring constantly.
So I'm hearing there's random acts of violence happening
Yep.
everywhere. Like, I don't want my child getting killed or my significant other getting killed on the way to the grocery store. Random acts of violence. What
What do you mean random?
thank you.
You guys aren't even targeting who you're doing, who you're
Right.
hurting, who you're killing. It's just popping off anywhere.
Right. I'm not a soldier. I don't want terrorism in my backyard.
I don't want to go to the grocery store or a hospital and then stuff is just exploding.
Right.
Like, I don't even want to hear this broadcast. I don't want to hear that my neighbors are getting radicalized around me. What are we
Right,
doing
getting-
with this broadcast? Shut it down.
Right. ISB, where are you? Do your job.
Throughout the galaxy, and even the smallest act of insurrection pushes our lines forward. Remember that the frontier of the rebellion is everywhere.
Frontier rebellion is everywhere. What is my son? What is my daughter watching online? What's going on?
When they go to the
his-
school, are they getting radicalized by a rebel teacher?
Give rebel teachers? What is going on?
I want
Like,
them
what?
to. I want my kids to do well in society and to fit in and with everyone else who's doing fine and cooperating in our society. You got these wild cards, these people on the fringes that are instigating violence around the galaxy. Like, I don't want that.
Literally bombings and shootings and sabotage. I mean, Clea shot up a hospital. I don't want Grandpa shot up in a hospital. What is this?
What is this? I don't want.
Tyranny requires constant effort. The Imperial need for control is so desperate because it is so unnatural. It breaks, it leaks. Authority is brittle. Oppression is the mask of fear.
It's brittle.
God.
I'm invested in society. My kids are going to school. I got family. I got my house. What do you mean it's brittle? I'm doing well.
And isn't that just straight propaganda? Where it's like the society, the empire is brittle, the totalitarianism. Well, if they don't maintain it at all times, it's going to be brittle and crumble apart. Well, what about the rebellion? If they don't maintain their efforts, doesn't the rebellion dissipate?
Right.
It's just
How-
a true
how is-
statement either way. So what are you doing
Yeah.
spinning it at me?
Yeah, I do. The bridge needs to be maintained. The vehicle needs to be maintained. The government needs to have re-elections and stuff. Like, are we have to do this all the time. Does that mean it's brittle because it needs maintenance? What is this? I'm scared. I'm really scared now. ISB.
Like, ISB, please come stop this stuff. Like, here's these broadcasts. I don't want to hear them in my neighborhoods where I have my friends and family here. Like, shut this down. Please do.
Please. Oh, please.
So I wonder, so from the rebels' perspective, they see that father, factory worker, whatever this random person inside the Empire, they view him as being a part of the Empire machine.
Right.
But from that guy's perspective, he's like, I'm a part of the society that we're all in, that we're doing well in, that's prosperous, that has low crime. Like, what's the problem here?
What's the problem? What do you want me to do? Upend society? Like, I'm one person.
Right.
Like, I got to try and be successful in the society that exists. I can't wish some society that doesn't exist to be here. Like, it's what? But am I a legitimate target? The front is everywhere.
The front is everywhere.
If I'm not a soldier, I'm still supporting the Empire. Like, my neighborhood is a legitimate target. The front is everywhere.
Right. The front should be at the front lines where the soldiers are. But the front is everywhere. That's also behind the front lines. That's where just regular people living their lives. Where you're like, well, you're a part of the Empire. You're a bad person. Blur. Boom, boom, boom. Like, what a minute.
What are
we doing here?
And who says that the front line is everywhere and that everybody's a legitimate target? It's terrorists.
Terrorists.
It's literally terrorists.
I'll attack a school because they're a part of the enemy future people.
It's not a school. It's an indoctrination camp.
Oh God. Okay, but I see it. I see it from the rebels' perspective. This is they feel justified in their perspective, and this is what you would do.
Yeah. And if fascism is truly on the march, at some point you got to do something.
Yep.
But when? How? It's so tricky. So tricky.
This is at the very end of the episode, and we see Dedra in the prison that we saw from season 1. And my thoughts on this is that she's a tragic hero, like a classic Shakespearean hero of the Andor franchise. Andor series. Okay. So she's in this prison, and it's so sad. It's so sad because she truly and genuinely believes that she's on the right side. Yep. And from the fans' perspective, we're supposed to support the rebels. We're supposed to support what will eventually become the light side. But right now, they're just rebels, right? And so here's Dedra. She's an orphan, and she's like, how do I be a contributing member of society? Well, there's these people out here that are doing terrorist stuff, and I'm going to be an ISB agent, which is the equivalent of FBI agent for in the real world or US. And so she's truly, genuinely trying to do good. But then she makes this one mistake where she goes after Luthen by herself, and then the cascade of problems just falls apart after that. And now she's in prison. So she's actually dedicated her entire life to doing good work, like for the benefit of society. Yes, they're the Empire, but they're evil from our perspective because we are forced into the perspective of the rebels. But from the perspective of someone that's in the Empire who's functioning, who's doing well, she's stopping crime. She's stopping criminals. Like, that's great. And then this happens where she's put in prison forever. She can't get out. Like, how am I going to tell anyone how to get out?
Right. It kind of reminds me of, like, in totalitarian regimes, you get these like purges of loyal people. And like a loyal person just functioning in society, maybe trying to get some career advancement, gets swept up for whatever reason, you might not even know, and then gets thrown in prison. You're like, what the? And it is tragic because the person is trying to navigate the society and just fails, essentially.
And I mean tragic in like the literary play tragic, where this person has a personality flaw. I guess in this case, Dedra's personality flaw was that she's a scavenger, that she like goes around and finds information. That being said, I mean, that's a strength, but it's also her flaw because that's why she gets in trouble. But that being said, she was an orphan, so she didn't have her life handed to her. So she had to be this scrappy scavenger person in order to climb society and do well and get into her position.
Mm-hmm.
But it falls apart. It falls apart so brutally. And it's true, though, that her failure to capture Luthen, her failure to capture and then the subsequent failure to capture Clea, it exposes the Death Star. And so now the rebels know about it. Then they go to Rogue One and they find the plans for the thing, and then in New Hope they destroy it. And so this is a big failure, but she really tried to do her best, but it came crashing down on her.
Right. And there's actually a lot of people to blame. Like the hospital security is to blame.
Yep.
There's IT who's to blame.
Yep.
There's the background check people who let Young in.
Mm-hmm.
There's a lot of blame to go around, but she screwed up once, easy scapegoat.
Right.
And it is tragic.
I mean, it's
because she was a true believer.
True believer, doing the right thing in a job that we want her to do. Right. So I guess, okay, so let's make it a bit more concrete, make it a bit more US so that we can understand it. So the ISB is analogous to the FBI. So it's an internal investigations group. Right? So if there was a terror group that was growing out of West Texas or something, like collecting weapons, collecting munitions, and then coordinating strikes across the country, I'd be like, please FBI, shut that down. I don't want that around. If it was a group in California or Nevada or something, people gathering weapons, setting up like firebombing things and exploding anything, like please FBI, please scavenge and scrounge, do whatever you need to do. Figure out who these terrorists are and shut it down. That's what I would want. I mean, this is effectively an FBI agent who was like winning, one misstep, prison forever.
Right. And from her perspective, she's taking down these terrorists who are causing so much chaos in society that could bring society to its knees. Got to put a stop to it. Like, I'm
doing the right thing for the greater society, stopping terrorists. But then
instead,
here we are, like
it's lights out.
And you see her crumble. It's a gut punch, because she really truly believed in what she was doing, and from the perspective of the people in the Empire, like, yes, I want my federal agents hunting down terrorists.
Right.
Brutal.
She's gonna get lost in the shuffle of the prison and die there. Oh, so sad.
Brutal. And at the very end of the episode, we see Bix back on this farm planet with this wheat the farm planet with this wheat. And I feel bad for this kid. Okay. I'll show you in the video. I feel bad for him. We're walking along this wheat field, and look at that foot. Okay. Look at that right foot.
This foot?
Little, yeah. Little tickles from this wheat. Little annoying. Right? You see it?
Yeah,
we stopped right there, and it's like tickle. Clearly, like, look at the kick. Clearly, that kid's irritated, right?
Kick.
Right? You see it, right?
Yeah. Bix, pay attention to the kid.
Stop it. And, it's like a fly landing on your arm. You're like, get off of me.
Yeah. They're just those little tickles.
Yeah.
It's itchy, and he can't itch it. He can't scratch.
And you're like, stop it. Whatever's there, get off. Yeah, I feel bad for him. Clearly irritated.
Yeah, definitely. There's definitely some potential like itchiness there, but this kick, it's getting me. It's a lot of kick.
It's like an unambiguous. The kid knows like something's there. I don't want it. Stop touching me. Kick. Yeah, that's it.
Yeah, that's it. Okay.
Cool scene though. Beautiful.
And that was the end of Andor entirely.
Oh, we ended on that. Yeah. Excellent. Andor season 2, episode 12, completed the entire series.
Yeah. See you guys for Rogue One.
Yeah, we'll do it.